So welcome. Anyone who's listening, appreciate you coming through. I'm not sure if you can see the avatar there. Sorry about that, guys. So wanted to get on a Sunday. I was doing my whole soulful Sunday, spiritual Sunday type of vibe when I went on to one of my social media platforms and to discover that I had gotten another violation. The violation was basically me speaking of the unalivement of black and brown people, that this is now not just a coincidence. These things need to be really examined. But who are we going to get to really examine what's going on, the phenomenon? Cash Patel from the FBI? No. Um, Jeanine Pirro, who's an attorney at the Justice Department, I think? No. Todd Blanche, who is now your acting attorney general, who's really the attorney general, the lawyer for Donald Trump. No. So, with that being said, I was struck down again on the other social media platforms. So, if they want this, I'm about to give it to them. Here I am talking about our stuff, and they banning me for talking about our stuff. So, I'm going to talk about y'all stuff. The fact that the women that Donald Trump has hired or had hired, all of them, I think, but one is still standing. And I think that's Jeanine Pirro, and she's on her way out the door. So I don't know if you all witnessed the recent uh, scenario comedy. If it wasn't for us, it would be even more funny. But the fact that it's happening to us, uh, it's not that funny. But apparently, Donald Trump was so scared that the Iranians was going to get him that he put his whole squad out to be taken out because there was a rumor that if he got on that plane, that the plane was going to go down. So he left all of his people, like Mark Rubio and Karoline Leavitt and Stephen Miller and those cats. He left them on the plane and got another little humdinger. I think he called it a catering truck or something like that. You see the picture. This is your president. How do you feel? Do y'all feel good about that? I don't. And you shouldn't either. He's an embarrassment to not just you, especially if you're white male, but he should be a disgrace if you're an American. Like how, who, if that had been Obama, Fox would still be talking about him. All of y'all would still be talking about him, but because of Trump, y'all give him a pass. So that's what we want to talk about. Giving people passes. Giving people passes because they look a certain way. When I heard y'all that he basically put his cabinet, including the new mother, second time, Karoline Leavitt, left them on the plane. Didn't care about them, and went on and left the people. Hold on for a second, y'all. There it is. Hold on, let me get to something else. Hold on, let me see something. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put that on there just in case you can see it. We're going to talk about some other stuff too, but that's the one thing that kind of blew my mind. It really, I'm not shocked, and nor should you be shocked that this is your president. This is your president who, rather than serve his country, he got someone to write a script, basically, that his bone spurs couldn't allow him to enlist. Well, what's Jared? Not Jared. What's his name? What's that little boy's name? Barry. No, that's not it. Barron. That's it. What's Barron's excuse? He's tall enough. Yo, y'all, that's crazy because I'm getting these notifications from my other social media platform about this particular icon. I mean, this particular image. because I used that to talk about the fact that TikTok had banned me for some bull crap, and it was a bot because I didn't say anything crazy. But on TikTok, white people can come on there and call me the N word, call me the M word, call me an ape, call me all kinds of stuff, and they don't get any kind of repercussion. They don't even get blocked. But here I am talking about the unaliving of our black people through the hanging fruit and saying this has become an epidemic, right? But because I said that and also brought in there, and I'm going to talk about this later, I don't know if you all saw, but I saw an image of a brother, a black man. He was holding the bouquet. And when you look closer, y'all, the bouquet is a bouquet of cotton. This is what his white employer gave this black man as an working anniversary present. And yet, white people continue to tell us that racism doesn't exist. We need to get over it. It was over. It happened 200 years ago, which is a lie. You think about Jim Crow, that didn't happen until 200 years ago, right? That Jim Crow was what, in the 1960s, something like that, right? But they want us to forget, but you're not holding your people accountable for having those types of behaviors, right? And so that's really what the content was about over there. And YouTube and their bots, TikTok and their bots decided to ban another one. And y'all, it seemed like after I got over, I think 1,100 followers or something like that, or 1,000 followers, it seems as if I really got under the radar. Right when I'm ready to do different courses regarding this, they are shadow banning me like there's no tomorrow. There is nothing that I can get correct. So it is what it is. Maybe there's a reason for all these things happening. And besides the fact that they're, racist and bigots and they want to censor American people, forget about that. Um, but it may be, more of a sign for me to get more involved over here in my YouTube channel and to, grow it. Um, and who's to say? We're going to just go with the flow and go with the spirit. And that's, again, this morning, when I did my journaling, it was really about being, what will it take for us to work on our spirituality and continue to grow in our spirituality? And it just takes intent, to be honest with you. It takes intent because I'm not going to lie to you. It didn't take that long for me to, get myself back together and, just go back to being appreciative of the fact that I'm here, I'm alive, I have my limbs, I have my senses, I still love, in spite of different racial traumas that I've experienced. I'm still here and I still love. And somebody wasn't to date. Oh, that's a guy. Never mind. But I can say that if it wasn't for my spirituality, I probably wouldn't be here talking with you now. Uh, Me tapping into my spiritual alignment, my ancestors, my creator, knowing that the universe is truly in my favor, all I have to do is send that out and have the intent in my actions to know that what I what I'm sending out will come back to me in abundance. And that's why I try my best, you all, not to stay in a state of funkiness, if you will. I try my best not to allow the external stressors and conflicts to interfere with my alignment with the universe. And I'm constantly reminded that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even if it's looking crazy. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, being where I'm supposed to be, and being of service, having servitude, have great gratitude. And then when I look at these people, these people that are uh, on this icon here, uh, the Mark Rubios and the Stephen Millers and those people, and they have no soul. You cannot have a you cannot have a soul and you be able to have these types of behaviors or support someone who does. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? It's not just a script, it's not just a verse, it's really the case. Every one of these people have sacrificed their soul, their afterlife, if there's such an afterlife. They have given it all to a soulless juvenile with dementia. And it's okay because he's white. That's kind of what the whole premise of it is, because he's white. And white ain't always right. And these last 250 years should have proven it to white America. White is not always right. These things were not going on in this country before you all came over here in the European invasion. I will stand 10 toes down on that. When the European invasion happened, you came over here with the, the, um, the diseases, not just of our body, but of our mind. Y'all had a very pathological mind. Y'all were having over 500 internal wars amongst yourselves because you couldn't get along and you couldn't be appreciative of the little that you had. Instead, you wanted to consume everything and everybody that you ran in contact with. And listen, the chickens are coming home to roost. Iran has shown you that what you thought you could do, you can no longer do to us. And I admire Iran for that. They are standing 10 toes down, and they are giving you a business. And I say you because I had no say so at the Pentagon, at the whole Oval. I have nothing to say about it. They didn't ask me, call me on three-way or anything. So no, I can say y'all because wasn't no person of color even in the room. So I can say y'all. And here's the thing. You can say I'm calling the race card. All of y'all are white. So I'll take that. I'll take that badge. You understand what I'm saying? Because just because I call it out, don't mean it exists. It doesn't exist. Excuse me, but it doesn't exist. Because it does. And this is not out of anger. Child, please. Child, please. Why would I be angry from something for something that you all are genetically made up to do? You just genetically are made not to get along because you have the Neanderthalic mutated gene inside of you, right? So again, not an anger type of deal, I assure you. It's a sadness. It's really a sadness that it took Trump with his with his open bigotry to open up, to reopen the floodgates of racism, because that's what Trump did. He reopened the floodgates of racism because racism has always been here since the beginning of the European invasion of 1492, right? It, and it definitely began to be something with your 13 colonies and their Articles of Confederation and the Constitution because there were no black people there. So again, it still goes to white men, those white men who had slaves, who were impregnating black slave girls, i.e., Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. He impregnated her over 7 or 8 times. She had four stillborn, and I think six, so it's 10 pregnancies. And I can assure you, contrary to what people are trying to say, it was not a love affair. How can a 14-year-old slave girl have a love affair to her oppressor with his Vienna sausage? Who wants that wrinkly thing in them? Okay? Like, you got to be realistic, white American, call it for what it is. The reason why you have Donald Trump is because you never got past or never addressed the fact that coming coming from the 1492 invasion with Christopher Columbus, y'all always had the mindset that people of color are inferior, that they're beneath you, that they're subhuman. And let's be real, white people, at the civil rights movement and all of that, that was just a piece of paper. It didn't change the way that people's ideologies, the way their mindset was towards a group of people. Y'all were I'm not going to say insane, but y'all were thinking crazy to think that a piece of paper is going to change a whole white group of people, change their mindset to actually think that we are all equal and treat us as such. Y'all did that on purpose. You did that to try uh, to settle the black people. That's why you did it. Because if you had taken, and I'm including demon rats in that, because when have the demon rats had our favor, black people? Ever since I can count, going back on history, who can you say, for real, for real, for real? And I welcome anybody to come up and share their views. But who can you say had black people's interest from a political perspective? Now, I'm sure you all are going to say JFK, and I will give JFK some credit, not all, because like Abraham Lincoln, who said he didn't matter if the slaves were there or not or whatever, he just wanted to end the war. The same thing with JFK would apply, because here's what I say to you. If he truly was authentic in the equality of black and brown people, then it wouldn't have taken a whole movement for that to happen, right? Just something to think about. I will give him credit for having the balls, though, when it came to his attention and he found that it was lucrative for him politically to encourage that. Okay, but other than him, who really has done something for the what white politician has done something to improve the betterment of black people as a community altogether? I'll wait, and I'll continue to wait, because there is no answer for that, because no one has. They are the lesser of two evils. That's what you still are. We are still dealing with, and then we have a Trump who's able to come on here, come on the scene, and say, "I know that basically it's been undercover racism, but I'm about to bring it out. If you follow me, then we're gonna clear the swamp, drain the swamp, and we're gonna make it for y'all." Now he lied to you, sure, he lied to you, white people, but y'all were so uh, disengaged. You were so pissed because a black man had actually become the president of the United States that anything to slap America, the black people in the face, y'all were going to do it. And that's why you voted for Donald Trump, an entertainer. He has nothing, absolutely no experience in politics, except for saying in the 80s, if I were to run for office, I would um, vote on the Republican ticket because they're dumb or either they're stupid. That's what he said about y'all. And I'd be doggone if he didn't prove you right. All right. But even now, it sounds as if some of the Trump morons and minions are taking heed to the grift. It seems as if finally, after all the havoc that both administrations uh, put on the people, that some of you are finally able to recognize that y'all have been hoodwinked and bamboozled. 2025, the Trump family earned over $2 billion off of personal investments, which they're not supposed to do. But white people, you're not calling him accountable. Why? Because he's white. Because if it was Obama, y'all would have everything in their mama to say. You're still talking about his tan suit. It's crazy. It's not crazy. It's sad to me. It's sad to me. And it goes to the whole spiritual Sunday. When black people, some of us, are really focusing on spreading the love that we are better than this, that collectively we can do this. We don't need white revenue. We don't need white dollars. We don't need white people. Just the opposite. They need us. Um, Trisha, thank you so much. I have been thinking about you, and I tell you, the universe brought you to me. I'm not even kidding, because I was trying to figure out how to get to you like 2 days ago, because I was talking to another subscriber that I had. in fact, she's been loyal. Like if she sees that I'm on, or she'll catch the replay or something of the other. But it's been a consistent type of support. And I used your name. I hope you didn't mind, but I used your name. I think I used your name uh, as an example that, the way that I'm going to be blessed, wherever you are, I'm going to find you, her too. And it's not going in vain. A like here, a share, a thank you, a comment, that means so, so, so much. And yeah, if we had more of you, Tricia, I know we wouldn't have the situations that we're having because your heart is beautiful, your spirit is beautiful, and you're able to be a part of the uncomfortable conversations and know that it is not you. You're just as poor as I am. Not being funny, you're just as powerless, if you will, as I am individually. Um, and you're so willing to hear and be re-educated on the myth. Oh, it does. My voice keeps going regular. Oh wow, let me know because and that's important for me to know. Is this any better? Because sometimes where I am in my apartment, I could be in the same place and it sounds crazy, and then I can move or don't move and I don't sound crazy. So, oh wow, you're trying to wait. Well, you know what though? The thing about it, Tricia, is I'm sure you can understand why she doesn't want to vote, right? Because when you look at both sides, what would be your incentive to vote? When you know how messed up the system is, who would want to continue to contribute to an already warped system? I feel where your sister is coming from, but what I will say is I've had to kind of change my approach as I've been evaluating kind of the status of where we're going with the whole handmade tale with the Project 2025 and whatnot. We're going to have to do what we've done before, which is hold our nose and vote for blue. I don't like them, and I'll tell anyone they're demon rats. I don't like them either. But in this term, in November, it truly is the lesser of two evils. If you do not vote for blue in November, they're going to set it to where you cannot vote unless you have your birth certificate, your birth certificate, your social security number, I mean your social security card, and something else, all having the same name. Which, if you're married, that shuts you out right there. Okay. Let's see that 2025 played out just like this. Yes, we all said it would. It sure did, and yet I have to say, white Americans, because honestly, black people, for the most part, Tricia, we're becoming more active and we're having to hold our nose. But contrary to what the demon rats in their media want us to believe, it's really not about our vote. It really isn't, because our votes are still connected to the electoral system, which is already biased. So it's sad, but I'm going to tell your sister she hasn't to subscribe, because I'm going to be breaking it down about that Save Act and how it affects her too. With not, the way they're trying to get it, you can't even have a job without your husband's permission, and that happened in, I want to say that lasted until in some places the 70s. I want to say. I mean, can you dig it? That in order for me to work, my man has to approve and sign off on it. Like women didn't have bank accounts. I mean, these things that your sister needs to know because that's what they're trying to get it back to. um, and they're going to be considered weird, like white women, white women in particular, because for the most part in our black community, stuff like this has been happening to us. But it is going to be a telltale for white women like your sister, that if she does not reel in these white men with their policies and voting, I mean their policies and practices, she's gonna be a handmaid's tale. Ask her if she's seen that, because if she has, that's her. That's what they're trying to do. And let her know about the fact that the Heritage Foundation of the mid 90s, late 90s, that is a precursor to Project 2025. They just made it a little better and made it smoother, refined. and also let her know. I think it's Peter Thiel, one of them that is the main creator of the Project 2025. He has a master's or a PhD in African American studies, one of the two. And he did that so that he could find, uh, from the systemic perspective, how to disenfranchise a whole community. Do some Googling for your sister. Yeah, Peter. Yay. Oh, she pays no attention. Wow. Well, what is she focused on? Is she like a MAGA person? Hmm. Yeah, I want to know if she's a MAGA person. And let me tell you what's crazy. I'm not shocked that she pays no attention because the way that this world, the way that this country has been designed, it's for her not to pay attention. Now, what's sad to me though, Tricia, is her not paying attention can lead her up to being a Renee Good. Renee Good probably didn't pay too much attention until all that stuff started happening in Minnesota. And to be honest, she wasn't really bothering nobody. The way the story is, we don't want your sister to be a Renee Good. And I have to say, after Renee Good happened, more white women were understanding that they are no longer protected under their whiteness. They began to understand that a bullet ain't got no name. Okay, something again, black and brown people have been knowing forever, but a bullet ain't got no name. And after Renee, some of them woke up. Now, is it a? We really don't talk about it. Wow, wow. Well, I'm telling you, if she continues the route that she's on, because I don't have words for it. Listen, I feel for y'all. I feel for her. I'm not even being funny because she's been really hoodwinked and bamboozled. Like she's been it's a delusion. You know what I'm saying? It's a delusion. And hold on. Okay, I just got another message. Forgive me. And you know what's crazy is leave me alone. TikTok trying to send me stuff to get on their stuff, and yet they keep banning me. You know what? It's crazy. This, and I can see if I was saying some. I'm still moving. I haven't even moved. That's what I'm saying. I haven't even moved. That's what's crazy about this place where I am. I can go anywhere. I mean, excuse me. I don't have to go anywhere, and then all of a sudden people don't hear me. Give me a one. Give me a one. Can you hear me now? Is it better or worse? I'm going to do some ABCs, one, two, threes, and see what's the what. I'm not under. I'm not under a column. Sounds right. I don't know. Hold on. I just moved again. I just moved again. But anyway, okay. But looking at the people on the prompt, let me tell you about a little bit about Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller, and I want y'all to do your research on him. He's not a good dude either because he's all about bringing back concentration camps. It's all right. Disconnect again. Uh, I might, but that don't seem to work either with mine. I think it's just my connection. Well, it's not my connection, it's my reception, I should say. But I'm not near any kind of towers. I mean, excuse me, any kind of columns or anything like that. Girl, you know I worked at T-Mobile, so I know about the columns and that. And if I'm around steel stuff, then of course it's going to have problems with connection. But I'm not. That was one of the reasons why I came over here to do it. But I think I'm on a. I got 54% of my charge. I think I'm on a slide on over and see, and you could tell me if it's a little bit better, if it's worse, or what's the what, and who's the who. Let me see here. Is that any better? Let me get some water. Y'all need to know what I'm doing. My bad. But you do, because I don't want you to think I'm just going. But I would love. Hold on. It's the signal God's giving. Yeah, how you know? That's exactly what it's doing, Queen. Hey, Queen, let me tell you how the TikTok is trying to ban me, girl. So I did some content on the fact that there's been an increase in unalivement through the what is it called, the hanging fruit, the unalivement under the tree, and I did kind of collage. I put it beside a picture, an image of a brother, a black man, who received um, oh my goodness, there it is, who received a bouquet of cotton as his anniversary present. Strange fruit, there it is. Thank you so much. I could never get it right. Thank you so much. But he got that as a token from his company for his work as a work anniversary. Not a pen, not a little pendant, Queen, not a gift card, none of that. He received a bouquet of cotton. And I mentioned that as in my content, like basically white people, you keep telling us that racism is old, is gone, is over 200 years ago. We need to get over it. But then you having these types of behaviors, how are we gonna get over it? And that's all I said, y'all. I assure you, that's all I said. And they banned it. They violated me again. Of the 5 content posts I put up, I want to say 3 of those suckers have been banned or violated. Gave me some kind of warning and shit. So excuse my language, y'all. But it's frustrating because I came in with the best intent. You know what I'm saying? Just to share a little something. And go, come on over here because I'm trying to kind of expand and grow my audience over here. And it took, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, it put me in a funk for a minute, but I had to get myself together and be grounded and be grateful and be like, you know what, hold on. If it wasn't for eyes, if it wasn't for my note, just giving my gratitude, and it kind of put me back. You know what? If they don't want me to talk about my own people and our situations, let me talk about them and their situations. Let's see what's gonna happen. So that was first the premise of me coming over here and using them as my thumbnail because that is something that we need to discuss. Very well, we can. The fact that the most latest person on the chopping block in the Trump administration happens to be another woman. Granted, she says she resigned. Okay, but this is following a Pam Bondi, a Tulsi Gabbard, a Kristi Noem, and there's one more. I keep forgetting her. But Jeanine Pirro is on the she's still teetering with some stuff that she just did. So with the fact that there's so much corruption in this cabinet, why do you think that he is only firing the women and white women? Are you not picking up on the fact that he is singling you out when y'all were the main reason why he got elected? Let's call it what it is. We don't want to talk about that, but we can. We should. White women. A lot of y'all went out in droves to vote for him. And you don't understand that when you did that, you were voting for Project 2025. You were voting for the SAVE Act, that SAVE Act that's coming up. How disrespectful. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, Queen. So disrespectful. And yet I'm bringing it up and I get banned. I get violated, not banned, but violated. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 more times or something, and I probably will be, but whatever. If this is not supposed to be, I mean, they say it's supposed to be free speech, but it's free speech to the Caucasian persuasion. That's kind of what that is. That whole white is right, black is whack kind of deal. And no, I'm not trying to feel it. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that thing. So I'm going to talk about it. I may actually do a live later on today about that in particular and see what happens after that. Because what do I have to lose? What are they going to do? Ban me? Okay. Life goes on. It's not going to make or break me. You understand? That's going to piss me off initially, but it's like, what do you expect? Look who's doing it. And I'm going to keep it moving. But yeah, the whole realizing that you're disposable under Donald Trump's administration, people have to recognize that because they have pretty much sold their soul to the devil. They're banning TikTokers, all those places on. Yes, Ellison. I was mentioning that in my other. I think I did. I mentioned the fact that since Ellison has taken over a part of TikTok, It don't. Whenever you say anything about anything, and it's black content creators, Queen, you have when I've had my lives, I've had so many white men, women too, but mainly white men come on my live and call me in. I get them off in. I report that they're able to come back in. I kid you not. I cannot count how many times I've had to block accounts while I'm in the middle of my live, and they still find a way to come on back. But you could just try to signal me because I'm talking about strange fruit, and I didn't say it right. I think I said unaliving by under a tree or something like that. Right. So at any rate, it is what it is. Um, it's going to be what it's going to be. We have to decide how we're going to handle that, how we're going to respond to that. And my response after I got pissed off and was like, you know what, whatever, is to go come on and do something else with some other people and grow my audience on my other social media platforms. Because like I was telling someone else earlier, Queen, it seemed like when I got over the thousand follower mark, when I'm able to be monetized, that's when they started coming down on me and on my page and on my content. Crazy. I'm believing what I think that they may be concerned that I'm going to be really doing uh, some classes on deconstructing of this white system or something like that, and educating white people as to why you feel the way you do. Because bless your heart, you've been conditioned to feel that way, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to break it down to you why you feel that way. And of course it's going to be the premise of cognitive dissonance, right? Of course, I'm going to break down the theory of the group think theory and help them understand that's why they follow Carrot Top because he was white, and a lot of them were still angry because Obama was elected. So they voted for an entertainer who is known to be uh, a line cheating, uh, misogynistic, sexist, uh, who can't get it up. Who now we're finding out has some tendencies on the homosexual side because he, doing his tonality, he is talking about several men being handsome and good looking, including Mayor Mamdani, right? But this is kind of again what prompted me to come on up and talk about them and see what happens while I'm talking about them, what they're going to do about it. Let's see here. They've been, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've been so long at Schaefer and I know. What is again, they don't want to talk about the truth, Queen. They just want to lie. He loves those men arms. Why? He loves those men arms, right, Trisha? He is really talking about how handsome and everything these men are. And it's like, what? I mean, what? But again, Obama wore a tan suit and they still talking about that. Mm, I'm just saying. Hypocrisy. Can we speak about it? If it's white is right. But I tell you, with these people in particular that's on this prompt and the other members of the administration, it's just a matter of time before we too they are removed as well. Stephen Miller, of all of them, I think he may be the one that lasts the longest because of his connection with Peter Thiel. JD Vance, I'm not sure. The jury's still out because JD Vance is kind of he's showing his hands a little more now. He's being more emboldened, right? To kind of go against Trump, but not go against Trump, kind of deal. And so who knows? I don't know about him. I am curious as to who you all think that next person is to be fired or quote unquote resign. We know is it Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary. She's resigned. And come to find out, when she was on maternity leave for the second child, she was getting constant calls throughout the day and night from Donald Trump asking when she was coming back, when she was coming back, when she was coming back, when she was coming back. And apparently that annoyed the hell out of her and the husband that it was like, you know what? I'm not coming back. So that's the little backdrop of Carolyn Leavitt. But if you hear me, Carolyn Leavitt, what does it gain a man to, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? You have children. So everything you've done according to the word in Deuteronomy is going to be passed down to them. So while you decide to resign, It's not going to take away from all those lies that you purposely told to the American people. It's not going to take away from you demonizing, even though they are demon rats, demonizing them on stuff that actually didn't do. You didn't take the opportunity to share with the American people the truth. The truth of the matter is the Republicans, the repugnants control the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch. And yet y'all continue to blame the demon rats when they had no control. Now you're wrong for that. And you're wrong for telling Trump, who was already suffering from dementia, lies about how everything is going smooth when you know it's not. Y'all are wrong for that. You set the man up. Now, I don't like him like that, but you said the fact that he was arrogant and he's a narcissist. You used that to your advantage and told him what you thought he wanted to hear instead of telling him the truth. And y'all are the same ones that have parents. I mean, excuse me, they have children. Y'all are parents and you have children that you tell your children to be honest and tell the truth. And you sitting there just lying not only to yourself, but you're lying to the American people. I'm telling you, that whole God, may God have mercy on your soul. He's going. He ain't talked to me personally about it, Carolyn. But according to the word, that's not happening. You reap what you sow, and your season is about to come. Let's see, Carolyn. Yeah, Ron, she's showing signs. So showing signs under her makeup. Oh no, no. Now you know what? I'm about to go back and review some things because I did see something a couple of times in her face, and I was like, nah, that ain't it. Nah, that ain't it. But apparently, I don't know. I'm gonna push back a little bit because it's possible. Because I'm gonna look at the pictures because it did kind of a couple of times with the eye and stuff. But he's an older, like I think there's like 30 years difference or something like that. He's like a sugar daddy or whatever. But you know what? His last name is like Rico, and I think that's Italian. I ain't trying to be funny. Anybody that hold on, girl, I think she's been not. It ain't funny. It's just how you said it. DV is never funny, you all. I apologize for anyone who has been a victim of DV. That's not it. But Karoline Leavitt, with all due respect, you reap what you sow. Because with all them years different, you knew what you was getting into. I'm just saying, you knew what you was getting into. But with that, I think that that man was like, you know what? Her husband was like, you know what? I'm tired of him calling us all times of the day and night, and you got to pick it, either your family or that scumbag. And I'm thinking, she was like, you know what? This is where my bread and butter is. This man been taking care of me. I'm a sugar. I am taken care of with him. I don't even have to work if I don't want to. I just need to keep popping out these kids. That's child support one and child support two. So yeah, no, I'm good. We good, Donald. I'm leaving. And when she was on maternity leave, when he kept calling her back to back to back to back to back, that didn't make it any better. She was like, you know what? F that. I can't even enjoy being a mother. You see how those like, ooh, I'm gonna check it. Ooh, I'm gonna check it because you know, again, it was looking a little something under the eye, but I think I got engrossed in listening to the lies that were coming out of her mouth clean. I think that's what that was. Well, I'm gonna go back and check. You know, I'm gonna go Google some pictures and things and look at the images. Okay, I sure am. And that's even look, and that's even worse. That's even worse. If you get whatever at home and you getting, beat down at your job, and you gotta come out in front of everybody and lie about it. I don't have no Caroline, I don't have no empathy for you, and I don't got no sympathy for you. I ain't saying all that. I'm simply saying I understand why you might be experiencing what you're experiencing, but you go to God, your creator, whoever it is you worship, and you say to him, listen, I lost my damn mind. I got caught up. I got caught up in the hype and all the power that came with this job. I sacrificed my ethics. I sacrificed my morals, my principles. I sacrificed the truth for this. And now I realize that ain't right. Please forgive me and watch what I do in my actions going forward to show that I'm going to atone for all those lies and all that deception that I brought among the American people. Carolyn, if you ever hear this, I hope you start sending that kind of vibe out to the universe because you never know. The universe may they may take pity on you and give you time to correct all your errors. Same thing with Mark Rubio. if I'm not mistaken, he called your wife, was it a pig or something? Was that Ted Cruz? One of y'all. But he talked disrespectfully to you too. And the first opportunity that you got to get a position in administrator as in the administration because you are power hungry, you took it. He put you in shoes that didn't even fit you, and you didn't have the nerve to say, "I don't wear that size," or "I'm not going to wear these shoes because they're not my size." You wore them clunkers. You should be ashamed of yourself. Stephen Miller, you should be ashamed of yourself because you don't have any hair. You should be ashamed of yourself because you are morally corrupt. You should be ashamed of yourself because you lied to the American people and you lied to Trump and tell him how well he has been doing in this Iran war. I know you have something to do with it because you have the right ear and Susie, is it Wiles or Weiss, has the left ear. He listens to y'all. And you've been pumping that man up because you and Peter Thiel are in cahoots because you want JD Vance to become president. Because you know when he becomes president, then the Project 2025 is going to be in effect. You're going to try to pass that SAVE Act, but I got something for you. Even though some of us who can't stand this corrupt political system, we're going to hold our noses, and we're going to vote in November. And we're going to vote you out there. And Jim Clyburn from South Carolina, yo, you're going to get yours too. We now know that you were also a plant. And we also know that you were determined to keep South Carolina red. You could have done so much for South Carolina in the what 20, 30 years your ass was the only representative that of color. And South Carolina, as a South Carolinian, you were just as bad as Lindsey Graham. And God, may God truly have mercy on your soul. These are things that y'all, instead of really atoning, because a lot of y'all are a little bit older at any given moment in time, y'all could like croak. And y'all want those types of behaviors as your last action to harm human beings for what? Money, power, fame? Like that's crazy to me. It's sad to me. And again, I'm not saying anything that's crazy. JD Vance, you changed your name 3 times. You changed your religion 3 times. You have an Indian wife and you speak so poorly about everybody who is not a rich white male. You are the biggest prostitute that this country outside of Trump has ever experienced. And then you wear makeup, you have eyeliner. Like who does that? Do you also have a dress? Do you also do a lacrosse dress? And if you did, I think you'd actually be a pretty woman. All jokes aside, I really think you'd be a pretty woman. I think you would look better than Patrick Swayze did, and I think it's 2 1 Fu. Yeah, you would look better, and that would explain why you're such a wuss when it comes to standing your ground and standing up for what is right and what is righteous. You ain't got that in your body. Anybody that would change their name 3 times and not what's the word? Not speak on their family history. Like your people grew up in the Appalachian Mountains or something like that. It's okay to be country. You could be country when country wasn't cool. Hell, I was. I was listening to Barbara Mandrell because I didn't know any better. I didn't. I didn't know any better. It was just music to me that was introduced by my white uncle. I can say that and not be ashamed. You can say that you came from poor white trash and not be ashamed of that. And you can also say the reason why I'm no longer poor white trash is because I sold my soul to the devil. And we would agree with you, you did, right? And how can you look yourself in the mirror when you talk so poorly about black and brown people and your 4 kids are black and brown? Help me understand. Because last time I checked, Indian wasn't pale face. And your wife is a whole Indian, like from the India. She just wouldn't listen. There's a lot going on in this world that you white men have to hold yourself accountable for. And if I hear any other white people talking about we all and we should, and it's the system. Y'all white people created this system. Y'all white people continue to maintain this system. So don't be talking about y'all. We need to fix it because what we created all this. Y'all did. Y'all's ancestors did. And stop trying to put us and trying to fix shit. Excuse my language. Y'all always try to make us want to feel compelled to fix your shit. It's your shit. Fix your shit. Just like you tell us to fix ours. And when we do, you come and try to interfere over here. Stay over there in your lane and fix your mess. That's not a bad thing to ask for because y'all asking us to do the same thing, right, people? So when I say these things, I want anybody to come up and tell me where any of that is incorrect. Okay? Because I'm willing. Unlike you all, I'm willing to come to the get to the table and discuss it with respect and with truth. Don't come in with no lies. Don't come in with no statistics that you got from one study from the CDC who are white based, coming from a Euro based experience. Don't come here. Come over here with that foolery because I'm gonna shut you down. And that's just what it is. Let me check the chat right quick because I was doing something else. Let me see. Hey, ABT, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate that. Hold on, girl. I hope for your sake that Orange fan does get to stay in office and use acting for Brian. I don't. Yeah, yeah, you're right. So they're making excuses for them Asians, but that's because the Asians are are financially outpacing them. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because let's be real. Even though Xi Jinping is over there, he be paying attention to what's going on with the Chinese Americans over here, and he ain't playing none of that. And Donald Trump knows that he ain't that stupid. He knows that. So for the most part, they don't fool them Asians. Those Asians do whatever they want to. They don't even care if they vote or not. Like it's really like that. They treat Asians like they do Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, I said it. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just doing a comparison. Basically, if we just leave them alone and they leave us alone, then you know what I'm saying. I'm including Indians in that care. Yeah, okay, they ain't going to do that. Yep, we can do that because they do mess them up. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. And now I have to say, BT, that's on us because if they can do it, we can too. That's another, you know what I'm saying? That's another topic within itself, another live. We talking about them right now. That's what they wanted me to do. They banned me from talking about my people on TikTok or when or violated me. I'm coming over here and talking about them because they're so quick to tell us everything that we are not doing. They are quick to what I call white explain it away, right? And white police us, but we can't say nothing to them about their behaviors. No, not talking about the names. You're talking about like Pakistani, right? That kind of Indian. Not trying to be fun. But you're talking about like over there, right? So you'll put it down there if you're talking about like people like Pakistani and gosh, why is that the only one over there that I can think about? That's sad. I feel bad, a little bit bad. And I won't lose my sleep over it. But at any rate, to your Peter Thiel, to your what's his name, Stephen Miller, Mark Rubio, JD Vance. Who am I forgetting? There's one more that's not on here, but he is just as bad. Let me think. It's gonna come to me, y'all. Oh, it was Lindsey Graham. That's who it was, and he's no longer with us. And I definitely did not lose any sleep. As a South Carolinian, we didn't lose any sleep. If anything, we're happy he gone. And that's messed up, but it's true. Because just like Jim Clyburn, they did absolutely nothing for the prosperity of South Carolina to be holding those seats as long as they did. South Carolina should be even though it's considered a more of a red state, South Carolina should be really up there doing some positive things if our politicians really cared about us. No, they cared about money, including Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn to me is no better than Al Sharpton or the late Jesse Jackson. Okay, they're no better. They're all one and the same. They're all cut from the same cloth, and that cloth was white cloth. I think it's a little different when you have the ones that come here from positions of power in the country. They dominate the caste system, via caste systems that also identify with. I agree. I agree with you because they do have that caste system, and that would make sense why Usha, J.D. Vance's wife, is so what's the word, submissive. Maybe that I think that would kind of suit her. It makes sense where she's just following, stand by your man, like she's just standing by her man, right? And he's a hick at that. So I think that song is very appropriate for them. But yeah, you have a very valid point, and I agree with that. It kind of just like even with us in the South, kind of we were kind of taught certain things, and it was a subculture or sub uh, indoctrination, if you will, that I can say that when I went to the North and things of that nature, it wasn't like that. But I was able to have that kind of exposure as a child going to Detroit. So I was able to see how that's not how it's supposed to work. But for the most part, a lot of us Southern children weren't necessarily going up north for the summer. They were more coming down to the South to visit us. So with that, I'm very fortunate of my family dynamics that I was able to experience, certain subcultures, if you will. There is businesses with less financial barriers. Yeah, then we don't have access to the capital. And here's what's interesting, and I agree with you, but this is where I look at us. I do look at us because with the resources that we have now, over $3 trillion, I think we could have actually been regalvanizing and restructuring for ourselves. And you guys may remember this. You women may remember this. Maybe three and a half years ago, something like that. Black women were forming like this um, venture kind of capital. What is is it capital? Capital. Basically, they started a company to generate money to help women businesses, to help start up women businesses or women entrepreneurs. And once the white man found out about it, they stopped them from doing it. Now, where was the being Crump at that time? Like to me, that would have been a valid cause, if you will. Where was an Al Sharpton, if you will? Where was Jesse Jackson? I think he was alive at that time, right? Where was Jim Clyburn? Where was the Black Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, including Jim Clyburn? Where were they? It was because Black women were actually doing things for ourselves that these Black people, gatekeepers, allowed them to not only stifle that, but deflate the cause to where Black women didn't want to, it seemed like we didn't have another option. And I don't know what's been going on since in the last maybe 18 months, but that was sad to me because especially Black men, they're always talking about, I'm the leader. Well, where were you leading? Where were you when we needed you? This is the typical response from Black men. No response. Hmm? No response. But if the shoe was turned, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would expect the Black woman to support them and call us everything but the child of God until we do. Right. So they ain't no good. They ain't no better either. Let me see here. What's that saying about the community will only rise as high as the women in it? That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's exactly why they're going after women, especially Black women. Correct, correct. Thank you. When you can leverage property too, many of our people have been impacted by redlining, even though they like to deny those barriers were structural and institutionalized that can limit access to capital. Very much so. And it's still going on. Again, I'm in South Carolina. So you heard about and it was a few years ago, but you heard about the woman, she was near Hilton Head, which is a nice area over in South Carolina. And her family, she was able to hold on to that to that property, but there was a real estate development company that wanted that property so they can do some other stuff. And she had been fighting tooth and nail to keep her own land so much that, and I think it was because it made the news, but Tyler Perry actually gave her money to get a decent attorney or something like that. And I got to do the research to find out what happened with that because I'm not really sure. But yeah, you are very much correct that these things are still going on, especially in the South. But again, that's where I look at, they always talking about they want to lead us. Where our Black leadership? I'm just saying. They talk about us never being there for them. We're always there for them. But when have they ever been there for us? I'll wait. And I'm not being funny. I'm just being factual on that. When have Black men in particular picked up one of our causes and followed us all the way to the finish line? I'll wait. So Black men, if you hear that, I'm talking to you, and you can drop down if you come through and let me know. I'm okay with being corrected. And don't come just with one anecdotal type of scenario. I'm saying systemically, when have y'all done that? I'm just asking for a friend, like all of my sisters. I'm telling my sisters, wake up, and they waking up. That's all. And don't be afraid, Black man. You've had so many opportunities to actually do the things I'm talking about right now, but you chose to blame Black women. So look, you're just as guilty for where we are in the bottom of the totem pole as Whitey is. So everybody can get a little piece of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all, with the people that are on this Trump here, they are so busting at the chops to really unleash Project 2025 with the fierceness. And even again, I repeat, even though this political system is jacked up, they are demon rats, just like they are repugnant. Black people, I've had to do it. I didn't think, yeah, I have to. I'm gonna tell y'all, I have to do it in November. I'm gonna have to hold my damn nose and vote blue. I know they're corporate demon rats, but if you are a Democratic supporter, this is where you can use your leverage. You don't necessarily have to have a Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer as your leadership. You can actually say something about a Ro Khanna or a Sonny Lee. Sonny Lee is, I think it's her last name. She's in Pennsylvania. Brilliant mind, brilliant mind. And she's very much realistic. She's factual. She's polished around the edges. She's not like me who will curse somebody out. She uses great diplomacy. Y'all need people like that as your leaders, because when you have a Chuck Schumer and a Hakeem Jeffries who openly takes funding from AIPAC, and AIPAC is an Israeli-backed lobbyist group that basically everything that's going on that it shouldn't be going on, that really hurts us but helps Israel, that's who the group is behind that. And you have a Chuck Schumer that said in their meeting that as long as I am in office, as long as I'm leader, Israel will get all the money that they need. So much so that a bill recently went on the floor, our prestigious floor, quote unquote, prestigious American floor, Congress. And the bill was to co-join the Israeli military with the U.S. military. Now, I think it barely failed. It barely was rejected, right? Do your research and Google it. But if that had happened, understand that our military would be basically under the leadership of Bibi, who is a war criminal, who is wanted in several countries. That's why he doesn't touch down on different places. But in America, he does, because he has Donald Trump. This is, again, what y'all are going to be having, facing, if you do not vote blue in November of 2026. And let's not forget about that SAVE Act. Again, that's for women. It's for other population demographics as well. I'm talking about women, specifically Black women, right? If your name is not the same on those three documents, they're trying to make it where you don't vote. If that's not voter suppression, I don't know what is. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's see, many of them are too busy competing with the young Pharaoh with those nails. I was talking to somebody with it earlier. I saw also he had when he was trying to do the stripper pole. But see, look here, that's on him. Because everybody and their mama know that when you go to prison, for the most part, like Ida say in the Oz back in the day with HBO, he didn't care if you dropped the soap. Okay, he gonna get them goodies. And young Pharaoh is pretty. He's a pretty boy. So you know that he was gonna get his. I'm just saying. So black men, that's on you. You keep doing degenerate shit, and somebody gonna fuck you in the booty. Excuse my language. They're gonna get you in the booty. Okay, and you're gonna come out like young Pharaoh, switching, wearing leopards and cheetah nails. I don't even have cheetah nails. Like what the hell? But look here, I'm gonna tell both of y'all. As long as he keep talking about the black woman being God, the goddess, I'm good with him. I ain't getting in the. I don't want none of his wee wee. I don't want none of the ding-a-ling. So hey, I'm good. Live your truth, brother. Live your truth. Okay? That's where I feel about that. But did you see where he said, oh girl, stop it. No, he didn't say that trans women look better than black women. I'm finna go Caribbean. Lord of mercy. No, but for real though, that's crazy. But you know what? I guess that booty hole was it was what's the word? Addicted. You know what I'm saying? That booty hole must have been, unless he was giving it up. What y'all think? You think he'll bottom or top since we talking about it? Or he may be versatile. I don't know. What y'all think? Listen, he out here claiming his face is pretty, his hair is natural, his nails look good. I'm done. I'm too through right now. He does have a pretty face though, ain't he? And his hair is natural. He has locks. And and his nails do look good. I can't even front. I've seen his nails and he look better than a lot of sisters. So they need some tips. Or young Pharaoh. You know what? I saw it come over my timeline, my time feed, ABT about him. The interview with Summer because I had subscribed to him years ago with the whole Tasha K thing. He's definitely a bottom. Man, ooh. Tell me what y'all. Tell me why I just squeezed my butt cheeks together. Tell me why I just squeezed my butt cheeks together. Uh, what? Like that's. Let me tell you how I feel about this. This is a sidebar. We'll get back to this. But I remember my childhood friend, long time ago, long time ago. So, and maybe I'm being too TMI, but that's okay. So some situations happened in college and this, that, and the third. I was telling him about my scenario, experiences, da 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 da. He was like, "Okay, it's cool. It happens. This." He was real copacetic about it. I'm like, well, "Damn, he really took this in stride." Okay. Fast forward to 2 years later, I happened to we were going out of something, and a nice young man brother came up, bald head, got the beard because the beard was the thing, the shaved head at the time. Y'all, this is really this is what's funny. So he introduced me to him, and I didn't think nothing about it. They were from the same hometown, this, that, and third, but they was at their club, this, that, and third. And they go and hug and like embrace each other. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now I had been, drinking. I had back then it was Mad Dog 2020, the green kind. Okay, so I was a little ripped, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm not, I know that am I saying this? Like, cause I've known this dude, my dude, forever. Like what? And I know he had girlfriend. Listen, my brother was able to have two girls at the same time in college, and one was going out, the other was coming in. It was crazy, and both of them were my friends. I was like, "Why you put me in this shit?" But I digress. I digress. So they give this hug, right? And again, I'm a little ripped with the MD, 2020, the green kind, and they, hugged, embraced, just talked, shoot. So a little bit later, I can't. I think I was sober or something. I said, "Well, what's that about? You hugged him a little too tight. What? He was like, "Well, Keyshawn, um, I didn't want to know. I don't know how. I didn't know how to tell you what we dating." I, I mean, I'm looking at doing a double take. Like what? Because again, all I have known him to do and be that dude that was doing to it, and they knew about it. It was crazy. It was crazy. But anyway, I said, "Huh?" Now I'm getting like all this time I was telling you about my stuff and blah 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 and a couple years ago. And I said to him, why you ain't tell me when I was talking to you about what I experienced in college? Like what you he was like, I something like, I didn't know how you take it. I'm like, what? And me, y'all, this is why I'm saying this ABC. This is why I'm saying this in Queen. Now I ask the most important question because I have not, again, this is like 90s, right? So I haven't really evolved the way that I want to claim that I am now. so sexist what I'm about to say, y'all. I asked him, I said, well, do you give it or do you receive it? He said, I give it. I said, okay, we good then. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. Like everything. Now, looking back, y'all, that was wrong, right? That was wrong. If I was a true friend, that should not have mattered to me. Y'all, I can't tell y'all at that time how much that mattered to me. It was okay for him to stick his thing in somebody's booty hole, but it was not okay for somebody to stick their thing in his booty hole. And either way, it ain't my booty hole, y'all. It wasn't my booty hole. But I was very judgmental. It was one of the things where they talk about I listen, I don't judge. I was listening and I was judging. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But when he said I'm the giver, everything was copacetic and we cool. We cool after that. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm saying that to say, with young Pharaoh, there's a lot of, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It seems like there's a lot of dingling that's waiting because he looked like he was packing. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I mean, just because I don't want dingling in my booty, I mean, in anything about, don't mean I can't appreciate it. And it looked like he was packing. And with them, well, I can't say with them babies because you can be, not doing too well when and you still have babies. But he seemed like he was packing. So for the ladies that are no longer going to get any of that, I feel for y'all. But ladies, would you want something like that anyway? I'm just saying, and I'm asking for a friend. Okay. But anyway, thank y'all for letting me share. Let's see here. Well, we now know that she's a telltale sign. Oh, well, now ABT. Yeah, yeah, that's true now. I can't even front. I can't front. But for him to say that a transgender woman it looks better than black women, I'm gonna keep it real. It sounds like he got with a particular transgender that know how to suck a lucka waka good and got him all sprung out. Literally got him digmatized. Okay, I can't say that, excuse me. But I'm just saying, young P has said some certain things. Well, well, at least you can acknowledge it now. You grow, you learn. I've learned to each his own. Yeah, I don't care what anybody does. As long as it's consensual, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. It ain't none of my business. But yeah, I didn't know he had said some disturbing things recently. I said absolutely not that this women can happen. I was on a live and I was talking to somebody, some man about that. And I was saying to him, because he was a black man, and basically he was saying that black women, this black women, I can't, it just does something to me, y'all. Not just because I'm a black woman, it's just wrong. So I let him say what he was going to say. And I said to him, oh, it was about divesting. And I was saying to him, listen, NDL, it was DL and white women or something like that. Basically, black men don't care for black women. They're doing other things. And I was saying to him, and I still feel this way. If y'all, and I said to him, if y'all have that urge to go do your thing with a dingaling, then go do your thing with a dingaling. I can speak for the heterosexual women that we don't want you anyway. They don't want you anyway. Okay, they just won't. They will not want you, and nor should they. They are heterosexual. That's what that means. Okay, they're not trying to have their dick in somebody else's booty hole, and then you come back and give it to them. That's nasty. First of all, that's just nasty. Okay. And second of all, there are so many men that love black women that we want y'all to go. We're not going to lose any sleep. The problem is, y'all want us to want you even when you don't want us. That's ridiculous. Those days are over. Don't be mad at black women when they decide to go and date and do their things with other culture. I mean, other ethnicities. Y'all have been doing it since 1967 when it was you do it before. But once the Virginia versus Loving case happened in 1967, where the law permitted y'all to date them white women, y'all looked at us like, okay, see you later, deuces. But then when the white woman do you wrong, you come to us so we can build you back up. We tired of building black men. Y'all should have already been built before you came to us. Now I might have been overstepping my bounds, y'all, but get down there on to come and tell me if I kind of said the right thing for y'all. The ones that you know, the ones that are loving the dingling, the black dingling, and only the black dingling. Let's see. That's the issue with men like that. I say it all the time. No peeing patrol. I mean, no peeing control, no dick control, no D discipline. I agree wholeheartedly. And with that, y'all don't deserve that. I'm so serious. Y'all can wait. I mean, black women, y'all can wait. Y'all don't have to settle. Y'all don't have to share. Because honestly, while y'all are doing that, we have these white people that even on the back of this prompt that are dictating our lives without us even knowing it or paying attention. She said, listen, when they start living in their truth, I can start to that's all I'm saying. Wish them well on the journey and just go on and be honest. Just tell what it is. If you don't like, don't be like a Kevin Samuel, who looking back and reading and researching, he was a closeted gay man. He liked dealing. But the way society is set up, he resented black women because he wanted to be one of us. I get that. I mean, I really do believe a lot of those black manosphere people really have this resentment towards black women because they want to be us. Because black women, straight black women, get to just openly get the dealing, but they can't do it. I'm just saying, I'm just asking for a friend. Again, if I'm off, let me know, let me know. Now I'm gonna say again, the people in the prompt, you know they out there doing that freaky shit. Excuse my language. You know they out there doing that stuff, right? How many black people you saw that was connected with Epstein Island, right? I'm just saying. Even Obama, they tried to put his name in there. He wasn't there. That's their stuff. That's their. It's not even deviant. That's their. Uh, that's their. I don't know what the word is, but it's theirs. It's theirs, and let them have it. You know what I'm saying? But again, I got sidetracked because we were talking about Karoline Leavitt resigning as Trump's press secretary. We've had Kristi Noem, who was let go, fired. Did y'all hear about her husband, Big Titty Brian? Yo, if you haven't, let me drop some. Because I'm telling y'all need to get hooked up with I've Had It podcast and the Midas Touch. They be doing the behind the scenes stuff. I'm trying to tell you the way the story goes, y'all. The way the story goes, y'all. Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski, the second in command, used to be on a jet, on their company jet, the United States company jet, where they had a whole bedroom and they spent a lot of time together. Okay. And with that, people were like, well, what's going on with Kristi Noem's husband? She real calm about that. He ain't saying nothing about it. Child, listen, let me tell you why he wasn't too concerned. Because as it came out, he was actually having relations with a transgender or either a cross dresser. It was a tranny who would spank him. He would put on lingerie and he would spank. I mean, he would get spanked. You let me say that again, make sure I don't get it messed up. That y'all heard that correctly. The reason why he wasn't concerned about Kristi Noem getting that work peen was because he was getting dick down by a tranny. Mm-hmm. And he wore lingerie. And I saw his on our hip with the whole titty. But he does have bigger titties than hers, so it's okay for us to call him Big Titty Brian. Just didn't know if you knew, but yeah, mm-hmm. There's something to. Oh, you watch that? I I'm trying to tell you, I hip as the bomb. Every time I do something, I do give them a shout out because Jennifer Welch pumps too, but Jennifer Welch, if I had a white woman ego, the alter ego, that's her. That's me. That's who I am. I have said, man, she is a who. And I love this particular group, these two women, because they're basically refined. They what I mean by that is they will tell you how indoctrinated they were in this American system. They will tell you how warped it was and how they were, in a sense, racist. They will let you know because this is who they were. But they're also sharing how they were able to unpack that racism and become more of an anti-racist ally. They were there, and they talk about how black and brown people have been basically waiting for them to get into the fight all this time. and this is their fight this time. And I'm not gonna lie, I was talking about that at least 10 years ago on my content when I first started. That white women are the X factor because they can do work like white women can do to white men like black women did with the movie is it Shy Rock, something like that, where they basically withheld the punani until they got what they the quality that they deserved and things of that nature. The white women have to do something like that. They can no longer act like they don't see it. And Renee Good should have let them know that their whiteness no longer protects them. That property of whiteness no longer applies to them. Because as black people have been knowing forever and a day, a bullet ain't got no name. Okay. A bullet ain't got no name. And so when I got connected to IHEP, it was like, oh my gosh, yeah, you better say it. Go on and tell them. Talk to your other white people because that's the only way things are going to change because it's a white institutionalized system. Sidebar, I think it's J. Edgar Hoover. What is it, J? Is it J. Edgar Hoover who was the man over the FBI or the CIA in America? Whichever. I think it's J. Edgar Hoover. But y'all, I'm sure y'all knew. I'm sure you knew. I didn't know it went that deep though. Because I've heard and seen some information that said that he was actually black, but he was white passing. I think his name is, he's not Trevor. I can't remember his name. He used to be a Tariq or something like that. He used to be a VJ. But he did a little snippet on J. Edgar Hoover because his whole thing is about white passing in American history or something like that. And it revealed that not only was J. Edgar Hoover black, his grandfather was black, who was on the poor, who grew up on the poor side of Washington, D.C. So it makes sense, like Abraham Lincoln, who denied his blackness, why their policies were just the opposite of what black people needed. That type of hatred, self-hatred. If there's such thing as institutional, a black person being a racist, that would be J. Edgar Hoover, and he was able to implement institutionalized racism because of where he worked. And he did set out to basically destroy the black family. Now, y'all, if that's not some black hate, I don't know what is. Right? He's pathological, and you find that a lot of these people they have a pathology about themselves that there's an emptiness. Anyone that will work for someone who has called your wife out of her name on more than one occasion, anyone that would work for a person who is a convicted SAer who is connected in these vulgar files and names mentioned more than Jesus' name is mentioned in the Bible. Of the 6 million files, 3 million at least, I think they're saying it's 3 million now, mention something about him, right? So what do we expect, right? What do we expect? But listen, I appreciate y'all sharing in the comment and engaging me. This has been awesome. But it started again. It started off today with me having a spiritual Sunday where I was really just sitting out in the universe like I to do, being grateful of X, Y, and Z, waking up, having my limb, being able to have my own spot, looking out the window, being able to see out the window, just blah, 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 blah. Thought I'd drop a little something regarding my people, regarding the epidemic of our women and men, but women being unalived through a tree, under a tree, and no one's really saying anything about this epidemic, this phenomenon. And also with the dude with the bouquet of, every time I look at it, I'm like, what the hell? Bouquet of cotton as his work anniversary present. That's such an insult. So I was basically saying that in my content, and I got banned. So it was like, and I was mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? I'm tired of them banning me. It's like they ban me every time I turn around. Of the last 5 content posts that I've done, 3 of them have had some kind of violation. Of course, it didn't. But I'm talking about us. Like, I don't know what these. I was about to use a bad word. I don't know what these white people expect. They keep talking about freedom of speech, but that's not. That's a lie. The freedom of speech is only for white people. because those white people come over to my lives and call I mean, just call it along with apes, along with monkeys, anything you could think of that's derogatory. Those white people could come over and do, and no one would do anything about it. Even when I blocked them, they would and reported them. They would still come back to my pages and use that book and display that vulgarity. And yet, I'm talking about the fact that Black women, in particular, but Black men as well, we are being unalive under a tree, and no one's doing anything about it. And we should be able to talk about it because it's our community. And what's up with that? As a community, what are we going to do to address it, right? So hold on, please. Baby dragon, Trump for the field, everything they did. What is what's the one that she says about? What she tells me so many things. What is the one that just every time? Oh man, oh, I cannot think of it, and it's right on the top of my tongue, yo. And she says this, and every time she says it, I just laugh because I'm like, oh my god, that is dementia diaper. What? Dementia diaper. Oh, I can't think of it. But she makes sure to talk about the fact of wearing this makeup and he's wearing the pen and he's sleeping all the time. And I love it because she says if it was Obama, Fox would still be talking about it. I do like how she, makes sure she puts Obama in there and she uses the comparison. And when I do, of course, I get banned because I don't look like her. I'm okay with that. As long as it's coming out, I don't care about the messenger for the most part. Just get the message out. And that's how y'all, this is going to sound kind of out there, but bear with me here. In order for this shift to change, because this is a spiritual shift that has to take place, first and foremost with Black people, we have to get that together. Because once we get that together and understand that M is our superpower, and we collectively utilize that, man, it's going to change so many things. Kind of like I'll Rise Up by Andre a Day. Yeah, that's how we are, right? That's what we have the capability of doing. My mantra is stand up with Cynthia Erivo. Yeah, the Harriet Tubman soundtrack. The song beautiful because every time I hear that, that's me, and that's us, right? But yes, it was. So with that, we need more people, non-black as well, to be. Listen to Big J. It's over when I say it's over. I don't know if y'all be following Big J. Big J, he is sometimes he's hilarious to me because he does some of the same things that he be blaming other people for. But I just got something to come through my little screen there. I mean my little feed there, y'all. My notifications on my phone it just comes down. I just saw his name. But I digress. And listen, I just want to say this: when he's on politics, when he's talking about the political aspect of it, he's on point. I just want to give him his props on that. When it comes to other stuff, well, I don't, that's still. I thought you know what? I thought I had seen you in his chat about what we talking about. Right. Let me tell you what it. Let me tell you what it says. This is his title. It's over when I said it's over. That's his title, yo. He really is on point with the yeah, with the political part of it. Now, some of the things I don't necessarily agree with his side of things, but legit, he knows his politics. He really does. And I give him props on that. It's just the whole human relation thing. I don't know because my jury's still out with that. Because I don't know. Sometimes I do believe or I feel like he is not jealous of the other black male content creators, but he is kind of like they ain't about shit, and you still giving them your support. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. On a couple of them, I agree with him on that, ABP, and I do agree with him on the fact that if you don't go over there, then they won't keep doing what they're doing. It's only because black women go over there that they continue to do what they do. Now, I'm not gonna lie. To a certain extent, I can flow with that. I completely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And I've often said on a few lives, you know, we should be more selective as black women we should be where if that goes against our ethics and our morals and our principles, yeah, it's okay to be entertained, but when does it become toxic, right? When does it become where it's a disadvantage, if you will, or more of a liability with that? Now, some of us just go because it's entertainment, right? But we keep going. And when it gets too much, we should be like, yo, that's too much for my spirit. Y'all are talking down, y'all are talking trash, and it's not true. Let me get out of there. But we got to ask ourselves, ABC, all of us, myself included, why do we go back over there? Why do we give them the support that they get? He said, he in the mess. He needs to just. That's what Bum Shiesty Bum. I don't know who that is, but I've been following with her, uh, along with her in different chats for at least 3 or 4 years. And it was Sugar Bomb. Now she's Bum Shiesty. That's what it is, or Shiesty Bomb. She said that, and she was so on point. She said, Just we know you in the mess. We know you like the mess. You said it too one time. Just admit it, and we good. Just admit it. Yep, because you were on the ABC. Because he said something, and it's like he was calling you out. You got on his live, and you was like, BJ, what's the problem? What's the problem? And you were like, no, you know you like it, just admit it. You know you like it, just admit it. I'm like, yeah, you just might as well admit it. But he would not. I don't know why he feels as if what he's doing is different or better. Like I'm not even being funny. And I want to ask him one day, because I've been on, believe it or not, I've been on his live a couple of times when you're talking about politics and stuff like that. But anyway, I want to ask him, like, what is it that you really, really have against volunteers? Like, have y'all noticed if anybody, have you noticed that he really, it's like, I don't know what you call it, but he has this vitriol. I don't know what you call it, but it's something like she is a bad taste in his mouth. I want to know why. He mad. So that wasn't okay, but I agree. Okay, I don't think I can get it. Oh, snap. I could have sworn I heard you. What? I knew he said he was going to ban you, but I didn't know he had already done it. I thought you had been on there before. He basically kind of blocked you. I thought you had been on there before. My bad, girl. My bad. But anyway, see, you got me sidetracked. We were talking about Caroline Leavitt resigning as a Trump's press secretary. Do you believe that was more of a the husband saying enough of this foolishness? You don't need him because we got money, and he messing up, what we got going on because you keep calling when you trying to be a mother. You just have a child, and he calling you any time of night. I'm tired of that. Another man interfering with what we got, or could it have been where Caroline Leavitt was like, after she had her baby, you know what I'm saying? He calling her nonstop. Listen, I'm tired of this dementia written, emotional, cheating, lying grifter. I'm tired of it, and I'm gonna use it as a reason to get out. Which one y'all think? I think it might be both. I don't know. You might have. I don't know. Yeah. And with that being said, like I was saying earlier, even after y'all had y'all stay in the White House. I'm talking to the white politicians, mm-mm, the white workers that are in the administration, because you're not politicians. You don't do policy. There's going to come a time where you're going to have to be held accountable for your own action. And it's not just a spiritual uh, uh, judgment that's going to take place. You're going to go back to your neighborhood, and you're going to be feeling some kind of way because your neighborhood people can't stand you, and they're going to say some crazy stuff about you. So then, my bad. Maybe we need to not yes. And what's crazy is that Corey Lewandowski, way back when, people don't remember this because we have short-term memory, but he actually was supposed to be Trump's like chief of staff, his first term or something like that. But it was shown how he was abusive towards his wife, like battery abusive, and some other things that made his character real sketchy. So they kind of stopped that and pushed him away, and then he went under Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. So he was rewarded for Trump's. He was rewarded by being loyal to Trump, even though Trump was, a grifter or a liar. Trump rewarded him by making him undersecretary or something like that with Kristi Noem. Just a sidebar, right? Just a sidebar. And you're right. They all the contracts is crazy. When you think let's see because y'all are well, you may not remember this. It's okay if you don't. But even with the the war in Iraq, Halliburton, I think it was Halliburton, Jim Cheney, that's not Dick Cheney, the vice president, made crazy money with Halliburton. And also, I think it was either Black Hawk or some other like private private kick-ass team, if you will, that they got contracts, military groups that got contracts under the department, excuse me, under the United States government as well. Look at Don Jr. I think Don Jr. is connected to a venture company that received over 600 out of $620 million contract for is it magnet? Some kind of dumb shit. Magnet? Just Google up Don Jr. get 620 million contract. I did content on it, but it was a while ago. But yeah, it is, and no one's saying anything about it. And when I say nobody, I mean the white people, because again, black people, and that's what I was saying on the live earlier. Black people, we tied. No pun to your name, baby tied. We tied. We tired of basically saying all these things. Oh, now that that part. But that is really true. But here's the thing that I'm encouraging a lot of us as Black people, especially what they call us Black Americans. That's what the Africans call us. But I was over there, so she kept calling me. They kept calling me Black American, but they didn't want to say African American. I get that was a slight now. I didn't understand that then, but I got what they were saying. But anyway, as a Black American, um, we tied, and these questions that's exactly how it's supposed to be. We, that's right, because we are. We're tired of fighting, protesting, and rallying, and nothing changing because not saying it's in vain, but it really is in the big scheme of things. We can have a whole million trillion dollar trillion march or whatever, a million march, million woman march, whatever. But when it comes to the policies and the practices, it still falls on the white men. Just just honestly, it falls on the white men. They're the ones who contaminated this whole world when they came over here with their pathology, along with their diseases. Like, yo, Christopher Columbus, he's getting all this crap, but this dude was a, a, um, a actual assaulter of girls. Like, that's disgusting. And he gave them diseases. That's even more disgusting. I'm just, ugh. But anyway, that's another story within itself. But just know the Trump administration, all of y'all, the JD Vance, the Stephen Millers, the Marco Rubio's, um, Jeanine Pirro. Listen, Jeanine Pirro with that whole reflecting pool, yo, I don't think she's gonna be around either. But that's okay. She shouldn't have been around to begin with, right? Because of who she was. Todd Blanche. Listen, when you know the world and the country has gone, this United States, it's a wrap. When you still had repugnance to confirm, or excuse me, voted to confirm Todd Blanche as the next Attorney General. That should have been a slap in everybody's, not black people, because we're used to it. But come to white people, it should have been a slap in your face. Because especially you Republicans who said you voted for Trumpleton, so he released the Epstein files, and yet Todd Blanche is the main reason why y'all don't have the release of your Epstein files. But y'all were okay with that, which means y'all are okay with child X trafficking. Y'all okay with that? So I don't want to hear nothing that's going to be coming out of y'all's mouth when y'all's rights are taken from you as well. You're gonna look up and you're gonna see martial law. You're gonna look up and you're gonna have to have rations of rice. I'm just saying that ain't no just hyperbole. Y'all keep messing around with these people, and that's what's gonna happen. You'll see it in November. And if you try to revolt because those demon rats have taken the house, I'm hoping that the white people, not black people, please, if you listen to me, stay out of this one. Go and vote so you can sit back with your popcorn, your wine, and your other beverages, and your blunt if you want to roll it. I don't know what your cup of tea is, but we're going to sit back and watch this. This is a version of the Truman Show. I don't know if y'all remember that movie with Jim Carrey. That's what this is. Okay? Black people, it ain't ours. It's just a matter of time. Oh, she said it's coming. So you feel me tired? Yay. It's a matter of time. And this is what I've been trying to say to black people. If they had heard me with my content in 2015, when I said to them, look, no, not 16, yeah, I think it was. Whenever the first run with Trump, I'm telling them before the elections, I'm saying, look, demographics are showing he's going to win this. Don't freak out. Don't lose your mind. Don't act up because this isn't our system to begin with. And he will be selected, not elected. This is the time for us. I think it was 2016. This is the time for us, black people, to regalvanize, to restructure, and we can start from a city, state, excuse me, city, county, and state level because those are the politicians that really control our day to day. What your police force looks like, the potholes in the road, your school board, what kind of curriculum are your kids going to listen to? How these these magistrates, these judges, how they're elected, how they're selected. Those are the people that you need to be focused on. While they focusing on the national, we need to regroup and focus on the local and the state level. When we're able to do that, we can be like that. I think it's a Tea Party or something like that that had just come out of nowhere and was really doing some things, shaking some stuff up. I'm telling us as black people, we can be even stronger because there's more of us. So and I encouraged us all to get on that. And I said, reach out to me. I can't talk about it too much online, but reach out to me. I have some plans, and it's tangible. There's tangible strategies that we can do. Child, ain't nobody reach out because I was a black woman, and they was voting for, they was giving money to Umoist over there, right? They was giving money to Umoist and Tariq Nasheed because they were black men and they sounded good. Look what we got. Look what they got us. I mean, look where we are now because of that. So let me see here. What? But Kai, where are our black kings? Where are our black kings to come to our defense? They're the ones to quick tell us that we just want black men's money. They don't make no money, but that's what they try to say. They'll flip that around on us. That's crazy. 600,000? Mm-mm. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. But listen, I've taken so much of y'all time, and I appreciate y'all spending this Sunday with me because you could be anywhere, but you just come in and hear a little something that I was talking about and add to the conversation. So again, I appreciate it. This is a movement that's slowly but surely moving forward, and I'm totally excited. When we get a certain amount of people, we're gonna do some kind of Discord stuff and some private kind of things. And you guys, some of y'all who've been with me, y'all have access to kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff that everybody ain't worthy to have, just real talk. But I appreciate where we're going. In the last, I don't know, three three weeks or something. I think I've gotten it. Doesn't sound like a lot for a lot of people, but for me it is. Like nine more new subscribers, and yeah, I was on 100 for the longest. And I remember saying once I get to 111 or something like that, I'm gonna start going more live. And sure enough, little by little, you all came on through. But with that, I appreciate your support. Just sharing, liking, contributing, and I did say this too about our people back then, and I still kind of feel that way. We're going to have to invest in Black women the way we have invested in black men. We have seen black women, when we invest in black men, we get a bando, i.e., Umar Johnson, after over a decade and accumulating over 1 million dollars. You all got a bando in Wilmington, Delaware, right? With even Tariq Nasheed. Who's going to go? Who really needs this black museum? Like Boyce Watkins. I remember being on a channel with a panel with a guy who was from Black Manosphere, and come to find out he was a moderator on Boyce's channel. I didn't give a damn. I told him the same thing I'm about to say now. Boyce Watkins is another gatekeeper. He's also a coon because the money that he has gotten over donations and things like that, I don't see him in the hood donating his time for free to teach brothers how to become financially uh, um, independent. Even our brothers that's doing what they ain't supposed to do, they're not talking to our brothers about like CDs and IRAs and things of that nature, how to invest that money so that if you get locked up, your children will still have some generational wealth. And the dude couldn't really argue with that. He couldn't argue with that because heaven forbid a black man use their talents and their knowledge and their abilities to actually go back to their freaking hood and actually make it better. The only person I knew that I saw to do that was Nipsey Hussle, God rest in power. I'm sure there's some other ones. Jalen Rose, let me correct that. Jalen Rose, he was a basketball player. He played at Michigan back in the day. If you're old enough, he was part of the Fab Five, but became an NBA player. And before LeBron created his school, Jalen was doing that in his hometown of Detroit, but he was undercover, so nobody really knew about it. Right? That's We need more of that from our black men. Build some shit. Okay, build some shit. That's what y'all supposed to be claiming that y'all gonna do. Go on and do it, and you don't have to really advertise it. Your output, your outcome, it says enough, right? Build some shit. That's all. Just build some shit. Oh, Dr. Richie, yeah, yo, let me tell you about him. And I'm not saying it's true or not, but there's a brother that has a channel that what he is doing is trying to discredit Dr. Richie's credentials. And he broke it down to where certain things he got, but why? Like, why would you want to do that to another black man who is having that type of platform? Now, I've kind of severed from TYT because some of the stuff they started talking about, that was a little too much because they were sounding like those corporate demon rats, and they sounded like gatekeepers. But initially, I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling TYT because it was a different perspective from demon rats and repugnants. But with that, he's on their platform. Support that brother. And you can see him, he could have basically supported that brother by shutting his damn mouth. Like, but we got to find something. Let's see. I agree with you. Great discussion. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I agree with you. Women just don't trust men enough. I know. We've got layers and levels of work to do. Unfortunately, many of us don't understand how being male can undermines our progress. ABT, it does. I'm not going to lie to you. It hurts me. I understand why, right? Because we've been conditioned to be competitive. And I remember talking about that in a prior live. We've been conditioned by this white supremacist ideology and system to be competitive. The melanated woman, that's not us. We are collaborative by nature. We are about uplifting, being creative, being nurturing by nature. Us fighting against each other, that's unnatural for us. And yet it has become our norm. And I'm appealing to all of us, especially melanated women, when I'm referencing the woman king in all of us. We're going to have to tap into that. And once we learn how to trust each other, we're going to build our own matriarchal system that those men will either have to shit or get off the pot because we're going to have our young black men and young black women. So we can definitely procreate and continue the legacy without them. And I'm okay with saying that. And no, I'm not like a Priscilla whatever her name is, and that's what black men say. No, I am a positive, strong black woman who sees the potential in a collective black women. Like that's not that shouldn't be strange, but that's threatening to black men. Excuse me, black boys who have a penis that's able to produce. I mean, who are emotional. Let me go on and put that there because the strong black man, the ones, the couple that I've met, are like, wow, so that's what's up. Let me follow you. Let me what you got, blah, blah, blah. But those men children, those penis carrying emotional men children are wanting to just say that I want the women, all the women for myself, which is crazy. And I hate black men. Actually, just the opposite. And I've said this on my live and I'll continue to say it. The thing about black men is I actually love black men. Unfortunately, they don't love themselves. So they stay stuck and complacent and blaming everybody, including especially the black woman who has held loyally, blind loyalty, has held them down since the beginning of mother loving time. And yet, instead of black men stepping up and doing what they're supposed to do and build some shit, they'd rather break black women down. That's a that's a there's a pathology that goes with that. There's a sickness that goes with that. That's mentally ill. ABT. Like basically they trying to replace the white master and become our black master. And these black women saying hell to the now, 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 not on my watch. And I'm so grateful for some of these black women. And yet a nice chunk of black women are male identified. They will get on there and just bob and weave and windmill and act like a pygmisha. When will we get to a point where we realize enough is enough, right? Because we're not protected. When it comes down to it, they will slap the shit out of us and think nothing about it. I mean, I'm just being honest. Long story short, not getting too in somebody's business, but that literally happened where I was. Heard the conversation, saw the young lady, didn't understand why she was because I'm an empath, so I picked up on whatever. I said, "What's going on with you?" Like, and then I was like, "Talk to me. Did somebody touch you? What the fuck is going on?" Excuse me, language. What's going on? She said, I said, somebody touch you? Did somebody hit you? She said something like, yeah. And I'm like, who the hell? What? Now I'm pissed. I'm like, what the? Little old me, I know, right? But I'm like, who the hell? Blah, 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 blah. And she tells me who, right? And I'm like, what? Now it was a significant other, right? Who's been cool. Literally, just the other day, I was mentioning him and saying I saw him at the store, and I feel so cool with him that if I'm on the other side of town, if anything's going down, I know he got my back, right? Now, fast forward to the other day in the elevator, she's telling me this. I'm like, what? And then she's like something. I was like, well, listen. And I told her, suck it up, buttercup. You needed to see this. You need to see that he's not who you thought he was, and stay away from him. You stay away from anybody that's gonna cause you harm, right? Now later on, I think it was yesterday. Later on yesterday or last evening, I saw her and she was in better spirit. No, yesterday. So it happened a couple of days ago. Yesterday she was in better spirit. I said, "Oh, I'm glad you feeling better about things." Then she saw me and was like, "No, I'm still sad." I'm looking like in my head, like, bitch, excuse my language, y'all. I'm like, B, I just saw you happy over there. Like, why you don't play me to the left? You know what I'm saying? Don't play my top. But anyway, so I say to her, everything cool now? And she said, not really, but something. I said, listen, when I told you to leave them alone, I knew you were going back. And don't come to me when excuse me, when he messes you up again. Don't come to me because I'm not going to have empathy for you because you're going into harm's way. So if he smacks the shit out of you, don't say nothing to me. And I'm not coming. I'm not going to talk to him. And I meant that then, and I mean that now. That's where we have to stop that it's not even coddling. I don't know what you call that. That codependence, maybe. Damn, I, I'm serious because that hit me right there. That really hit me. Um, yes, I see. Yeah, he's no, he's not. He's not. I'm with you. That's all right. Yeah. Well, I'm mad that he's there too. But what would be his alternative? Where would he go to? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Byron Allen. A lot of people don't even know who he is. I remember him from way back then, like we were people, some kind of people of America when I was growing up. But I didn't know all this time he's been basically behind the scenes, advocating and trying to buy as much media as possible so that he can turn it into black media. I think it was TV1 or shoot some other that you can catch on the digital channels. I think he owns that station. I mean that channel. But with that being said, leave leave. You know, he could have just left Richie alone. He didn't have to try to bury him. There wasn't a need for that. But even with Richie, maybe he can find a way to get his own or link up with someone like a Byron Allen, and continue to do what he's doing. Like I really enjoy his content. I'm not watching it as much anymore because I'm really into the politics with like um I've had it podcast and Midas Touch and Benjamin Dixon and even Jesse Delamore. And there's a black two black women. I can't think of their names. It used to be the Bank sisters back in the day, but they're not doing it anymore. But I try to be a little diverse. He's got enough. Yeah, he really does. He has enough to have his own following. I mean, his own platform. Yeah, he really does. And getting him with a strong sister. I'm trying to think of a good strong sister besides me, not Joshua, but that's really into this kind of stuff that can really complement his intellect, but also them being as down to earth as he is, because he's very down to earth. I got to give it to him on that. But yeah, it's interesting how. Oh, you laugh because at me? I know, right? Hey, I'm gonna have my own channel though. Don't trip. I'm sending it out in the universe, okay? And you better come. You better support because sometimes where I'm not doing certain topics and then you having some movies and things like blast from the past kind of deal and whatnot. So you better join for real. Um, I need to get literally about 100 more subscribers and actually get members. At like I think it's like 4.99, something like $5 or something. Getting 100, that's enough for the whole thing. Not the whole thing. Let me correct that. Let me correct that. It's enough getting started. It's enough getting started, and transfer some of my content over there. But yeah, if he was able to find a platform that really valued what he brings to the table, it will be phenomenal. Like, not sure if you are familiar with Queen Amadea. I haven't watched her like consistently in some years, but every so often I'll catch a stream or live of hers, and she's whew, Queen Amadea ain't no joke. Like, oh my gosh, she is like wow. Um, yeah, that's but she's real though. She's raw and she's telling the truth. So I ain't knocking her. Yeah, Queen Amadea, believe it or not, she came from I think it's called Black Fly Nubian. Oh shoot, I'm messing it all wrong. I know I am. Black Nubian World, Your Black World. Boyce Watkins had a um uh I don't know, he had a channel, I guess it would be, where there were certain people that they would be kind of like they would have their segments. And Michi X was on there. Um, I think shoot, Queen Amadaya was there, and Elaine, not Elaine, I almost said her name wrong, but there was another one. Well, it almost came to me. It almost came to me. Oh, that woman. I see her face too. But they were some of the main people that were on there. And as it turned out, Boyce Watkins was actually taking their money. He was actually a grifter. He was taking their money. All the revenue they were bringing in, he was taking it. You heard me. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. There it is. Fly Nubian Queen. There it is. That's how um, I, mm, 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 mm. I was listening to something 2 years ago. I think it was maybe 2 years ago of Goddess Masterpiece. She was talking about Michi about something. They've been having this whatever for years. But she mentioned Queen Amadea, and she said something like, "So if you're into that she said that's not me, but if you're into that, like a militant black woman, she's the one to go to, or something like that." So I literally went on over what she was saying, and oh my gosh, this woman Queen Amadea is not a joke. Like she says everything from the heart, and she will say in a minute, "I wish they would, not over here," and mean that thing. Um, but I'm saying that to say we need more of that. We need more Black women owning our own stuff and coming out with um, uh, television um shows, sitcoms, or episodes or channels that really are uplifting about uplifting Black women and really trying to dissect kind of how Black women got to where we are, where we're competing as opposed to collaborating, and how that is a disadvantage for us, but an advantage to every other demographic. And it's time for us to pour into us as collective because that's the only way that we are going to break this matrix. Black women, Black woman, the Nubian, the carbonite, she is the creator of all. With that being said, we should now be the creators of our own reality. And the only way to make that work is for us to control our own narrative. And we have to do that by owning our own shit. Like there's just no other way of putting it, right? But anyway, I got ABT. You got me caught up with that too. But let me get on out of here and get me a little something to eat. I appreciate you all so much coming through and giving me support and participating in the chat room and with each other. That means so much. Again, enjoy the rest of your spiritual Sunday. I was gonna call it soulful at first, or maybe I did call it soulful. Either soulful or spiritual. Either one. They're both the same. Tap into your spirit. Do whatever you need to do for your spirit to feed it today, and have a wonderful week. Stay tuned. I'm gonna definitely come back because now I'm over 100 subscribers. So I said I would, and I gotta stick to my word. And there's so much going on in the world, in this country, in our politicking, and they politicking in our faces that I can definitely report on and how it affects us. So again, until next time, Ashe guys and women. No offense, I'm from the South, so guys is kind of like men, women, everybody's listening. So don't take offense, y'all. All right, take care.